Picture a city at the absolute height of human achievement. It's the year 400 AD. You are standing in Rome, not the Rome of ruins and postcards, but the living, breathing heart of civilization. Towering stone temples dominate the skyline. Miles of aqueducts carry fresh water into the city without pumps or electricity. Roads radiate outward like veins, connecting 3 continents. 50,000 people roar inside a massive arena built purely for spectacle. This is not just a city, this is the center of the world. Rome commands wealth, armies, trade, and culture on a scale never seen before. Its citizens believe they live inside something permanent, something eternal. Rome is not a phase of history, it is history. Now imagine telling one of them that within a single lifetime, this city will be abandoned, that its streets will echo with silence, that the empire they trust more than nature itself will simply stop functioning. They wouldn't argue with you. They would laugh, because systems this large don't fail. Empires this powerful don't collapse. Rome had laws, legions, money, and momentum. Rome was too big to fall. Fast forward. Now you're standing in modern America. Neon lights blaze above Times Square. Digital numbers flash across massive screens, measuring wealth so large it barely feels real. Cargo ships cross every ocean under one flag. Military bases dot the globe. A single currency underpins global trade. This is the center of our world. And if someone told you that this system, this economy, this dominance, this way of life, was approaching a breaking point, you'd react exactly like that Roman citizen did, because we believe the same thing they did, that we are different, that the rules don't apply anymore, that history ended with us. But history doesn't end. It repeats, not because of fate or prophecy, but because human nature doesn't change. Empires rise the same way, they decay the same way, and they collapse for the same reason. Rome didn't fall because of barbarians, invasions, or bad luck. Those were symptoms, not causes. Rome fell because it made one irreversible economic decision and then spent centuries doubling down on it. And today, America has made that same decision. To understand the end, we need to rewind to the beginning. Early Rome was not decadent. It wasn't soft. It wasn't corrupt. It was built by farmers who became soldiers when threatened, then returned home when the fighting was done. Duty mattered, restraint mattered, sacrifice mattered. That mindset was embedded into their money. For generations, Rome used a silver coin that actually was silver. Real metal, real value. If you held one, you didn't need faith in the government. You trusted the weight in your hand. That kind of money creates discipline. It rewards work. It punishes waste. It makes leaders face limits. And those limits build an empire. But success changes people. As Rome expanded, wealth flooded in. Conquest replaced production. Leaders shifted from guardians to managers of excess. The empire grew massive and expensive. Armies stretched across continents. Infrastructure required constant repair. And the capital city itself became dependent on handouts and entertainment to prevent unrest. The bills kept growing. The income didn't. Rome had a choice: cut spending and face rebellion, raise taxes and anger elites, or take the third option, the quiet option, change the money. Instead of admitting the empire was overstretched, Roman leaders chose deception. They altered their currency, not openly, not all at once, but gradually. They reduced the silver content, replacing it with cheaper metals while keeping the same face and the same declared value. On paper, nothing changed. In reality, everything did. This was inflation before the word existed. It was money creation without productivity. And it worked, briefly, until it didn't. Over generations, the coin became worthless. Prices exploded, savings evaporated, trust vanished. Laws were passed forcing people to accept fake value. Black markets emerged. Soldiers refused pay. Farmers stopped selling. The empire wasn't conquered, it hollowed itself out. By the time invaders reached Rome, there was nothing left to defend. Now turn back to the present. The United States didn't begin this way either. For much of its history, its currency was tied to something real. Dollars represented gold. Limits existed. Debt mattered. That discipline helped build unmatched industry, innovation, and power. Then came global dominance. After World War II, America stood where Rome once did, unrivaled, wealthy, and confident. Military commitments spread worldwide. Consumption replaced production. Promises multiplied faster than resources. And once again, the math stopped working. In 1971, the final constraint was removed. The dollar was no longer tied to gold. From that moment forward, money was no longer limited by reality, only by policy. What Rome did with metal, we do with digits, and we do it faster. Debt now grows not over generations, but months. Trillions appear with keystrokes. Each new unit silently reduces the value of every unit before it. You don't need charts to see it. You feel it in housing, in food, in savings that don't save. The structure remains impressive, but the foundation is weakening. Late-stage Rome was marked by debt, dependency, distraction, and division. So is late-stage America. Entertainment replaces meaning. Assistance replaces self-reliance. Political conflict replaces shared purpose. And there is one more parallel history always delivers. Time. Across thousands of years, dominant empires follow a strikingly similar lifespan. Roughly 10 generations, roughly 250 years. Not because of mysticism, but because prosperity slowly erodes the values that created it. America approaches that mark now. This doesn't mean collapse happens overnight. Rome didn't vanish in a day. It faded. Systems failed first. Trust collapsed. Living standards declined. Power drained away. Those who believed the system was permanent were the ones most devastated by its failure. Those who understood history adapted. This is not about fear, it's about awareness. History is not a story, it's a pattern. And patterns don't care what flag you fly or what century you live in. The question isn't whether cycles exist. The question is whether you recognize where you are in one. Because Rome didn't fall when the city burned. It fell long before, when its money lost meaning, and that is always how empires end.